Hey, I just realized that I've got a Zoom right now I gotta pop into. Later. Okay, bye.
Good morning. Could everybody hear me?
Yep.
Good stuff. Welcome everybody. A little different location. I'm actually at the beach, so kind of set up on a laptop in a room. So I think I got everything working well. Hopefully my internet is good enough, but let's get rocking. Everybody's input is welcome. Welcome, everybody. This is April 9th, Weekly Impact Group Huddle. Just to kind of give you guys some insight on what's going on. Usually throw in from time to time some tips. We're going to talk a little bit about lead gen today at the end. And that's something that a lot of people like to talk about. And if you're really good at it, you can put some input in there as well on what you do and some tips and tricks that you guys do. As well as elaborate on some of the things that I mentioned. I'm going to mention like 17 different ideas that you guys could use for lead gen, and also pass it on to the people within your organizations, your teams, everything else. So input is very, very welcome. I'm going to blow through some little housekeeping things as usual. We are on the Impact Group worldwide right now. That's where announcements, interviews, training, live streams, agent introductions, and things like that, Impact and EXP resources are talked about. Impact Group Real Estate Collaboration is where we're going to talk more about real estate services offered, real estate related questions, recommendations, local things. So make sure you and your organization are both on Impact Group Real Estate Collaboration. Just look for it and join the group. We'll let you in. This is something that Robin Phillips down in Charleston posted last week. I thought it was really good to make sure everybody is aware of this. There's so many different resources that come out at EXP. And as we know, there's those resources, there's so many good ones. It's kind of like a fire hose sometimes, and we miss some of the great things that EXP comes out with. But this is basically a transaction processing contact center. So if you guys have any issues with payments, settlements, distribution authorizations, things like that, you can actually call this number, and they are there most of the day, every day except Sunday. And you can just check on a particular transaction that you're doing and get your answers quickly without going into the world. Sometimes we're not in a place where we could just hop on a computer and go into EXP world. So this is a really easy, fast, convenient way. If you have a closing coordinator, this is a great thing to give them as well, because they can kind of multitask, hop on a call, and be working on some other stuff without going into the world. So be aware of this transaction processing contact center, and it's an 800 number. They're there 6 days a week, most of the day. Remember, this is Pacific time, so look at your time zones, make sure you got that right. Pass it on to all the people in your organization, as well as your teams and people that you know. And it's just one more thing also for agent attraction. When people ask, well, if I have a problem with any of my transactions, what can I do? Well, of course, you can go into EXP world, you can go into enterprise, you can talk to your broker of record by text, email, workplace chat. There's so many different things. You also now have this processing center that is available by call or in the world. mentioned last week and the week before, I'm going to keep putting this on here. Make sure you guys go on to the Shareholder Summit website. It's expshareholdersummit.com and register. It's important that you register so they know how many people are coming and how many breakout sessions they need and what people are signing up for. But there's over 90 breakout sessions. There's also going to be a number of great speakers that they're going to have up on stage. Glenn's going to talk about the state of the company, where we are, where we're going in the future. And of course, because this is a shareholder summit, they talk a lot about the economics and the basically where we are as a company overall. That when we talk about a company, this is eXp World Holdings, and eXp Realty is basically a subset company of eXp World Holdings, along with companies like Verbella and eXp Commercial and the IDX company that we own. They own Success Magazine. There's all sorts of things. So all of those companies feed into eXp World Holdings, which is our parent company. And that's what they talk about from an economic standpoint on stage. I watched an interview this morning with Glenn Sanford, who obviously is the founder of eXp. He was talking about, he was just on a podcast earlier that day. It hasn't gone live yet, but it's with Real Trends, and Real Trends is basically the number one statistical follower of real estate companies and real estate brokerages in the world, and especially in the United States. And they interviewed him on their podcast for Real Trends, and they actually ran their own numbers about EXP and where they see EXP going in a growth trajectory, I believe, going forward. And they also talked about, I think the last 5 years, we're at something like a 3,600% growth over 5 years as a company. Bizarre numbers, like blew anything that's ever existed out of the water. And we're actually gaining speed. We're not really gaining speed from a percentage standpoint, obviously, because we have a lot larger agent count now. But as far as agents per month, we're getting close to averaging 1,000 agents joining per month net. You're always going to have a little attrition, people not getting plugged in, people, just dropping off. But so there's always going to be a little attrition, but we're up averaging close to 1,000 agents a month are joining this company, because more and more people are simply paying attention to the model and, looking at it, because a lot of people, they just won't look at it for one reason or another, whether it's loyalty or they were bashing it for so many years, they don't want to eat crow, things like that. Or they just have heard so much misinformation from other people. That's probably the main thing that happens, is there's so much misinformation from other companies and other agents out there that put the wrong thing out there, like because they heard this and they heard that, and you know how that happens. It's kind of like going back to high school. And after a while, you believe it, you hear it enough, and you think you know what the model's all about and what the people are, and it's just a recruiting company, and they don't sell any real estate, and you actually get paid with stock. You don't even get paid with money. I mean, I've heard it all, and the people that have been at this company for a while, I've heard some doozies. It's quite bizarre, but what it usually takes is one person that they respect to make the move and actually look at the model. And then that person has the ability to have that conversation with that person and say, no, that's not right. You really need to take a closer look at this. And that is happening at a higher level with bigger teams and bigger players around the country and the world now. And they're just coming in droves. So this is an exciting time. make sure that you attend these the shareholder summit. At the very least, you guys need to listen to the main speakers on the main stage and learn about the company and what's going on in the future. So on the right hand side, you could see these are some of the breakout sessions that they're going to have, but they always have speakers as well. So putting this in here because it's gonna go quick. So a lot of us are going to Cabo San Lucas in about a month, I think, maybe not at the end of this month. And that's one of Brent's conferences. They're great for learning how to grow your organization and just hang with some people that are doing things at a high level in the company. And this conference with Tony Robbins was supposed to happen last year in August, and of course COVID hit, so they delayed it, and it sold out very fast. And then after that, of course COVID, most of the people kept their tickets, but some didn't because they didn't know where they would be in a year from now as far as availability. Or they just wanted their money back. So there are some openings now, but now they're starting to market it and advertise it a little bit. And it will, as soon as Cabo's over, I think they're going to start pumping this, and it's going to fill up extremely fast. So you guys could jump on it right now. It's in Texas, so it's kind of convenient for just about everybody in the country, and that's why they did it in Texas. So it's in the middle of the country. You're not flying all the way to Arizona or California or New York if you're on the West Coast. So I put on the left-hand side here, brentgove.com, or you can go to Brent Gove Resources if you've been there before. Just look this up, click on it, and get signed up for this. I think that's going to be an amazing event as well. I've got a lot of questions over the last couple weeks about commercial and just learning more about EXP Commercial. First off, EXP Commercial is its own company. It's part of EXP World Holdings, but it's not necessarily part of EXP Realty. It's a different model, similar. Hey, Kelly, I think your mic's on. So what, you guys can check this out. I saw this on Workplace, and you can go, it's an introductory to commercial real estate. It's a 5-day program with a certification. So if you or anybody in your organization are interested in commercial, or at least just knowing about it, you don't have to become a commercial agent. You can just kind of go through this, I believe, and really see the difference of it. It is free, which is awesome. That's what this company does. They try to put a lot of free stuff out there whenever they can. But you can find this in Workplace as well. I would just go to EXP Commercial in Workplace and look at it. You can just also go to the main EXP Realty, as you can see right under the word training, EXP Realty. I think it's just the group that I found in Workplace. But a lot of people are asking about this. There are some people now kind of coming into our organization that are in commercial. I know some are very experienced and some are less experienced, but just want to get into commercial. And this is a great introductory way to do that. And I put this stuff in here because the majority of you probably won't be interested in this, but you might know someone that is. And that's what this huddle is all about. It's about being in the know and having that information in your back pocket so that you can go ahead and transfer that information. So any thoughts on any of the things I talked about, any general things that anybody can think of that they want to throw in here before I kind of go into lead gen a little bit? All right. Talkative group. So in real estate, this is the constant that people ask about, which is, how do I get leads? How do I get leads? And the number one answer is relationships. You just got to create a bunch of relationships, and those relationships can be on several different mediums. They can be, where you get your lunch, where you get your nails, where you get your hair done, whatever it may be. They just need to know who you are and be confident in what you do as a real estate agent. So I'm just going to roll through some of these things, and you guys stop me if you've got some input for any of these. But social media deep dive, introduction on a platform. So you got to choose a platform, whatever it may be. You want to be a Clubhouse person, you want to be a Facebook person, Instagram. You've just got to be really consistent. You got to put out tons of content, and just be the expert in whatever you're talking about. Is it agent to agent? So is it B2B? Are you talking about helping other agents? Are you talking about just selling properties, to the public? So you've got to think of what's your message, who's your audience. So be a social media deep dive. A lot of people have really taken to Clubhouse, obviously. Clubhouse is a voice group, kind of a chat room, modern day chat room app, where you can talk about a particular subject, and invite people up on stage to talk, basically. And there are people that go on there daily and have created these rooms, these groups. They're actually called clubhouses. So you create your little club. And if you are consistent at doing that, that is branding. So if you're going agent to agent on Clubhouse and you're saying, hey, here today we're going to talk about lead gen. Tomorrow we're going to talk about lead conversions. Next time we're going to talk about dealing with rebuttals from clients or whatever it is. And you're giving lots and lots of value, and you become the expert, and then people follow you, and then they start following you on everything else, and then they're like, wow, she's an EXP agent, she's got all this knowledge. And then they might connect with you and talk more about real estate and the ideas that you're talking about, and then you have a relationship, and then you could introduce EXP to them. So there's so many different things that you can do on that level, just through social media. So Kathy, yeah.
Yeah, Craig, that's so true. Like Clubhouse is awesome for that. Lauren Rocco, she is consistently on there every single week, and she's teamed up with 3 other agents that are across the country, and they got a Facebook group called Girls with Grit or something like that, and then those same women have that Clubhouse thing. And all that Clubhouse feeds into their Instagram. And because Clubhouse, you can create your profile, you can have them linked to your website or whatever, have your whole background. I'll tell you, Clubhouse is a pretty amazing tool right now. And you can get a lot of people. You can start to build who's following you. And it can be agents from all over the country by doing that. And when you're a giver, that's how you get. People start to respect you. They'll check you out. You can have your LinkedIn bio in there. You can do a lot of stuff to create interaction that you weren't doing before, and really build your audience pretty well. But the word that you use repeatedly is consistently. And that is about time blocking to make sure that it's in there so that you are making sure you have that consistency.
100% consistent is the key word. I mean, if you do anything consistent, you're going to get those results. So great insight. And it doesn't have to just be yourself. Like Kathy said, you go on there and then you invite guests, or you do it with a couple of colleagues, and you talk about what you're good at and what you want to do. And, a lot of the first thoughts people might have is like, oh, I'm not good enough. I don't know enough. Believe me, there's always an audience that you know more than. So look at it that way. Just do your research, talk about your stuff, and then invite some other people on stage that might have even more knowledge than you. But you're still the showcase.
Oh, Craig, and to enhance that a little bit, when I was doing a few rooms with my daughter, I've gotten off track, so I got to get back on it. I wanted to talk about time management because it's a weak link for me. So I went and searched through hashtag time management within Clubhouse and found all kinds of people that was their specialty. So then I went to their Instagram pages and I followed them and I direct messaged them and asked them if they would be a guest host on my my little room that we were doing. And we had people, one guy was from England, and I'll tell you what, we all learned like crazy from each other. And that was, you know, you don't have to know it. You can invite people on who know it and learn and ask the questions that people need to know because you need to know. And it was a great growth thing. And I really encourage people to step out and do things like that. Clubhouse is a powerful tool, but it's also one you can get lost on. So I also caution you there too. One of my favorites is Success in the Morning from 7 a.m. to 8:30, Success Achievers, and that's Don Hobbs with Success through EXP, and it's great. It's all personal development and motivational stuff and just some great insight. So that's and they talk about don't get lost on Clubhouse. So you have to, it's easy to get lost if you're especially like me, ADD and really run around. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you could do it also on any platform. I mean, if you just want to interview people on Facebook Live, just like you could almost know nothing. Ask them about like what their specialty is in that, that obviously you're bringing them on because they specialize in something, and then just pull all the information out of them. What about this? What about that? What do you do for this? How did you overcome that? And you basically have to know nothing, and you're an instant celebrity because you're the host. So there's a lot of things you could do, but the key is consistency. So choose your platform, do it. Little side note, Twitter just tried to buy Clubhouse for $7 billion and they turned it down. Didn't work out. Funny. So anyhow, Facebook bought Instagram for $1 billion. Everybody thought they were crazy. But anyhow, open houses, big thing. Open houses, obviously there's a lot of things people think, well, it's just an open house. I put a sign in the ground and I wait for people to come in. It's a lot more than that. So open houses are probably, 40 to 50% of the people that walk through them are kind of warmer leads. So those are a great way to pick them up. But there's a lot that can go into a good open house. Obviously you're going to post it on the MLS. You got to put it on the reciprocating sites, 3, 4, 5 days before it happens. You want to market the heck out of it on social media. You want to invite the neighbors. You could actually even go knock on their doors, go live the day before, the morning of, during, and after. If you want to get crazy, go live on Facebook or one of these other Instagrams or live platforms and just say, hey, I'm out here, come visit me, this is beautiful. You want to create the right environment, make sure the house is staged right, it smells right, it's set, the light is set right, the sound is good. Bring a little boom, a little jam box or something that you can put in the corner and get some like nice, easy light music playing in the background with the smells, with the lights. Have the door cracked open, so it's inviting to come in. Make sure the front door is not totally shut. If it's a really nice day and there's no screen door, I actually used to leave the door halfway open. So it would be inviting, because you'll get a lot of people that'll drive up and they're like, is this it? Is it on? And they're just looking for a reason to not go in. So you got to invite them in without going out to the front and looking like a clown waving them in. How do you get your lead? That's the big thing. So a lot of people, when they do an open house, they're like, oh, I have a sign-in sheet. Can you sign a sign-in sheet? I don't really love sign-in sheets. And if you're going to have a sign-in sheet, you better do it yourself. So what I do is I have the door somewhat open. I kind of stand back away from the door, maybe in the next room, but I see them walking in. You wait them to come in and you be, hey, welcome, come on in, make yourselves at home. And they walk in and you say, hey, I'm Craig. And here's a sheet on the house. Some things that you should know about this house is it's X, Y, and Z. And don't miss the backyard. It's amazing. Make yourselves at home. Take a walk around. Let me know what you think. So let them walk a room to a room and a half. And then so they don't feel like you're hovering over them. They don't need a tour guide. And then as they're kind of walking to the second room, you kind of walk, but not right up on them, and you walk close enough that they can see you and be like, so what, what are you guys out today looking at houses? Is this your first house? Are you guys in the market? And just do small talk. And even better if you could do like, the weather is amazing today. Finally, you got rid of that rain or whatever. Talk semantics, break down the barrier, and then go into the house stuff. And once you can talk a little bit more about houses and they're interested in houses, they're like, yeah, we're in early stages. We got to look. Is this a good neighborhood for you guys? Why did you choose this? Are you looking for anything particular? It may not totally be about that house, because chances are they're probably not going to really love that house, but of course you're trying to sell that house. But if you can get some information out of them, anything, location, timing, do they need to sell? What's important for them as far as, do they have kids? And, that way, what I would easily, say after that, say, you know what, and you can see it right here at the bottom. Once I have some criteria, I say, you know what, I've got some ideas. Do you mind if I do some homework for you and send you some information on some things that you might want to look at? And who's going to say no? So you're like, yeah, of course, that'd be great. And you got your pen and your pencil and or whatever, and your paper, and you'd be like, I'm sorry, you said your name was Chuck. Yeah, Chuck. What's your last name, Chuck? And then you write that. What's a good email I could reach you at, Chuck? Send this information. And then you put that down. And what's a good phone number? Like, you're giving it to me. I'm not asking, can I have your phone number? And a good phone number in case I got to reach you. I'm just going to send you some information. You guys let me know what you like. Well, now you got a full contact and you've got the information that's important to them, and you can go to work for them. And if for some reason they say, well, we're working with an agent, no worries. I don't want to step on anybody's toes. What I'll do, I've got some ideas. I'll send them to you, and you could show them to your agent, and you could have your agent show it to them. 9 out of 10 times they're BSing you anyhow. They just don't want to be hovered on. And if they do have an agent, they're just not going to call you back. And if you do a better job than their agent did, and they don't have a buyer agency, it's not really their agent. So they'll call you back and say, hey, I want you to show me this house. I've done that 1,000,000 times when I've done open houses. I've gotten multi-million-dollar deals off of that, doing it that way, because I worked harder than the guy or girl that they were working with, which basically did nothing and knew nothing. I did my homework, and they didn't have a buyer agency, so they called me back. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you don't have a buyer agency and you're not working hard, you don't deserve it. And not everybody gets that buyer agency, but if you're not having a buyer agency, you better be hustling, because they better be in love with you and value you. So next thing, I know we're going kind of slow, so I'm going to kind of kick it into high gear. Call your sphere. Obviously, these are people that when you call them and talk about that, when anybody mentions real estate, they should think of you. They think real estate, they think of you. And the way to do that is to stay in touch with them. Stay in touch with them with a phone call, a text. The easiest thing is this, friend them on Facebook and communicate through posts. And then that makes a call or a text on a personal level a lot less awkward. So if you're always commenting on their vacations and their kids and what's going on in their life, they're keeping you front of mind. So when you shoot them a text and say, hey, thinking of you guys today, how's the house doing? How are things going? I see you guys on Facebook all the time. That keeps you front of mind. Send them a birthday, things like that. Birthday cards, send out cards are great, things like that. So be in touch with your sphere and put them in a database, contact them as much as you can. We always talk about MIO on here, make it your own. It's an acronym for make it your own. We have a group here in Charlotte. You guys should make them around the country. I know there's some people on here that are not from Charlotte, but create these groups yourself. Create, MIO Baltimore, MIO Austin, whatever it may be, because this is make it your own. And basically what it is all the EXP agents in that area post their listings on there. And any listing that's put on there is basically free game for EXP agents to market on social media to drive buyers to their website or to their phone. So you could say 123 Smith Street's on there. You post that on your social media. You go into your KV Core or whatever platform you're using on your website. You look up 123 Smith Street. You get the link. You post it. Check out this great new listing, 123 Smith Street. Call me, Jennifer, at 704-555-1212. Or just click the link and sign in, see all the pictures or whatever. But that's an easy lead gen that people should be doing daily, if possible. And you can schedule these things so that the same post goes out like once a week. Do 5 different homes. Don't do them too far ahead because especially in this market, it might be sold by the time you share it the 3rd time or something. But just be aware of that. Create a Mayo group. If you're not in Mayo, just look up Mayo Charlotte Real Estate EXP. I think it shows up as a group. If you're out of state, join it also. Kathy did a great video to explain how it works, and then go create one in your own area. It's a great value prop for agents and agent attraction as well. A lot of companies do not share their listings. And if you're a brand new agent and you don't have any listings, it's kind of hard to get that credibility as a listing agent and drive organic buyers to you. So next thing, create organic content. So a blog, if you have a website, or just social media. Be the expert. Do some research on your city or town or different neighborhoods, things to do in that area. Top 10 lists, people love them. Create this content, put links back to your website on it, put your information on it, put your picture on it, your logo on it, become the expert. This information stays around forever. We have hundreds of pages out on social media that I've created over the years, and our team gets about 200 organic leads a month just by having that content out there. And if you ever have someone that's interested in a particular town or neighborhood, you just go to that page that you did last year and you look it up and you send them that link. You've got a library of content. Yeah, Kathy.
So I saw this one agent do a really cool post, and it was her in the backyard of a fenced-in backyard with a dog. And I think it said something like, "Do you have a dog and need fenced-in yard? Well, I've got a link to all the houses for sale with fences." And that was such a great idea. And you can create that. And if you do that with your KV Core, you can have lead capture like that. So just get creative on whatever it is. Like, do you want to know what all the what homes are available in Birkdale? But I liked how she incorporated herself into that post, because it was just it was a picture, and then she had the link with some content, and I thought it was brilliant. And I think that's free.
Yeah. You can, to Kathy's point, when you go into your KV Core or whatever platform you're using, choose a little niche type of thing. I know all communities that have a community pool in Huntersville, all houses available in this town or city that have fenced yards. And that criteria stays clicked forever in that link. So as one house sells and the next one's listed, it shows up. Whatever, golf courses. It's endless. Pick different content to do that with. So great one. Tell your story. You see a lot of people documenting what they do. So on Facebook, Instagram stories, Reels, TikTok, go live often, do a vlog, which is a video blog, short video clips, whatever it may be. But documenting is self-branding. And self-branding can be agent to agent. It can be agent to consumer. You're just the expert. Think of the people in this world that do a great job at that. They're everywhere. There's Kathy talked about Lauren Rocco. She does a great job of this on Instagram stories. She's on there every day, and you could always see where she is, what she's doing. Some higher level people, Gary V. If you ever talk about Gary V, He's basically a social media entrepreneur, guru guy, but he basically got famous just documenting what his story was, what he does on a daily basis, and then sharing ideas and tips through that. So that's a great thing to do. Just expose your story. It's interesting to people. And even if they don't watch it, they're just going to see your face every day. So they're going to stay, they're going to know who you are. Start a group, Facebook group, build an audience on a topic you're passionate about. I think I talked a little bit about this last week with someone in the Charlotte area. She does a wine enthusiast club. She meets at a different place for wine every month with all the people that drink wine, and they just hang out and have fun. But she creates all those relationships by having wine with everybody every month because she loves wine. If you're passionate about your neighborhood, what's going on in your neighborhood, the neighborhood watch, we're having a garage sale for the whole neighborhood, the pool's opening, the pool's closing, all these things. So create that group. Talk about home values on that group, but don't try and pitch people. Remember, it's about giving, not getting. The get will come by itself. Things to do in the area. Every Friday and Saturday, what do we all say? What are we going to do today? What are we doing tonight? If you got a whole list of things to do, you're going to be the go-to for that. So just think of different things that you have passion about or that you like doing. Cars, car enthusiasts, towns, neighborhoods, moms groups, whatever it may be, and just be consistent with that group. There's that word again, consistency. Another great one is showcase and refer other businesses. So if you go to the same place every week or month or for lunch or whatever it is, you're a creature of habit, or you consistently like someone's product or service, showcase them, and that could be as simple as just doing a review and then going on Facebook and tagging them and be like, you know what? This is the best place for this. I just think everybody should know about this place. Tag them, put them out there, maybe take a picture with your phone while you're there. That's a give. That makes the people that own those places look at you and respect you, and naturally want to give back to you and maybe refer someone to you. So showcase other people to give, and you'll naturally get. Give to get up here as well. Become a referral machine. Same thing. So you take that whole business thing to a step further. When you talk to people about, you have a great landscaper, the best thing you can give any business owner is a referral. So how can I help you is what you should always be thinking. Don't think about you. Just try and give them I'm going to try and give this person 3 referrals. You like where you get your hair done? Good. You like where you get, you like who does your lawn, your pool person, whatever it is. Anytime you see that, because we're all agents and we see people constantly asking, who's the best for this? Who's best for that? If you can get these people referrals and stay in front of them, you're gonna get that in return, even if it's not from them. A big believer in that. Be an influencer, on location or topic. So this kind of ties into the group thing, but it's on an individual level. I just made some stuff up, like Lake Norman Larry. Lake Norman Larry, is all things Lake Norman, and he's always like at different locations, and he's talking about things to do and different businesses. It's kind of all of the above. Amanda Williams is an EXP agent out of Raleigh. She calls herself the traveling realtor. Her and her husband just travel all over the place, and she goes live and says where she is and what she's doing. And that's her brand, and I'm sure she writes it off, which is smart. Joe Smith, Mr. Uptown, it's something to remember. Some people think it's corny, but that's just a way to get remembered. You can actually, instead of starting the actual, doing a Facebook group about a theme, you could actually start. These are mainly in person, car clubs, wine clubs, town moms. You just meet, motorcycle ride club, wine and painting, fantasy football, watch groups. I know there's a lot of Steelers like watch groups, a lot of Steeler bandwagon fans. Sorry for anybody who's a Steeler fan. But if you have a lot of people, I mean, especially in Charlotte, if you're in Charlotte, it's a very, very destination place. So there's a lot of people from other areas. So I mean, if you got together and you like, the Dallas Cowboys, and you're like, I want to start a Dallas Cowboys watch party group, and we all meet at this one bar and have a great time. You meet all those people, and you create those relationships. General sphere and communication. So this is a little kind of extension of what I talked about before, but here's some different things that you could be doing to stay in front of that sphere. Social media, stay in touch with them, send out cards, handwritten notes, invite them to events that you're doing. Obviously give them a call, text them, instant message them. It's good. Some people do giveaways, write a comment below and like my thing, and I'm giving a $50 gift card away. It's something like that. It's fun. It's getting people to interact with you. And especially on social media, even if they don't win the card, if you get 100 people that 50 of them like you, 100 write a comment, the algorithms of social media are going to tie you into them as well. And they're going to start seeing your stuff. Dominate your neighborhood with farming, over the top open houses, neighborhood Facebook groups, sponsor neighborhood events, market updates monthly. So you're kind of telling home values, things like that. Digital newsletter, offer a home valuation. There's lots of tools out there now. You can go on things like Nextdoor, which is the next thing, and just say, I did this and it worked like magic. And I know there's a couple of different ways that people do this, and they weren't great seller leads by any means, but it's a different market right now, so you might be able to get it. I went on my Nextdoor and I said something like this. We have a home valuation tool. It's just like a lot of people have. And I said, hey, neighbors, one of my friends in a neighborhood, being a realtor, one of my friends in a neighborhood asked me what the value of their house was. And I sent this tool over to him, and he said it was awesome and a big help. I thought I would just put it out there if you guys want to look at your home values. And people just started clicking on it and doing their own home values. And I would explain, you're going to click on this, and then within a day or two, you're going to get an email that has a layout of what your valuation is and so forth. But in the meantime, it makes them fill out all their contact information. So you can do a soft response and be like, hey, I saw that you did this, you have any questions about it? Or if you'd like me to do a deeper dive and really do some hard numbers on your house, I'd be more than happy to do that. No, I'm good. Or yeah, that'd be good. But it creates that communication, and it's soft. You're not really pitching anything, you're giving. Because they don't really like you selling stuff, especially real estate stuff on Nextdoor. You just have to come at it from a give. Support consistently at, so the people in your sphere, this is another kind of extension of what I talked about. So these, if you look at all these lists, like your landscaper, your pool keeper, your dentist, your medical doctor, chiropractor, florist, auto mechanic, small businesses, your massage therapist, apartment sales agent, things like that. Keep all of these in notes or in your, kind of keep a list of all your best of everything in their contact. And try and constantly get them referrals. And if you give them referrals, then you're gonna get stuff in return. At the very least, everybody knows who you are because you're the person that so and so sent me. So and so sent me. And the last thing is new home sales relationships. If you're gonna do this, you got to do this at a high level. So you go into a new home sales place and you say, listen, a lot of people are coming in buying new homes from your neighborhood. I would like to create a relationship with you if you're interested, because a lot of people need to sell their house before buying the house that they're going to buy in your neighborhood. I would like to be that person and do whatever we can do to make it happen. If they're not licensed, be creative on how you can help them out as far as, bring them nice coffees and stuff like that and make them feel fantastic, buy them dinner, whatever you got to do. Stay within the lines. I didn't say any of that. But if they're an agent, I'm going to say, are you allowed to take a referral? Does your company allow you to take a referral? A lot of new home sales don't allow their agents to be active because it's somewhat real estate liability. They can break more rules when they're not licensed. But if they are, you're just trying to find a give back to them. If they're not licensed, just bring them coffee once a month and breakfast and what do you like? And, bring your lunch and, you just create that strong relationship with them. We're building a house now and we're in a new neighborhood that while the house is being built, and they sell like 8-9 houses a month. And that's an opportunity to make that happen. So just think of that. That's a great idea. You just got to be consistent with that as well. Last thing, I know we went over. Thanks for everybody hanging on. Lean on each other. I always put this in here, agent attraction. If you have someone that's interested in EXP, don't just try and go it alone. Who can relate to them, who fits them. If they're at a particular brokerage and someone that came from that brokerage, that might be a good person to fit their personality, where they are as far as location, what it may be. So always lean on each other. When you don't know, always ask. All right. Thanks for hanging in there. I know I went long because of the lead gen stuff, but pass on the word and let's see you next Friday and let's have a lot more people. Good group today. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Craig. You did have a bunch on the Facebook page, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Cool stuff. Thanks,
all right.
everybody.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Craig.